Welcome everyone, welcome to today's physical education class where we will be looking at the topic of social drugs within our unit of drugs and sport. Without further ado, let's jump right in.
Many of you all may be asking yourself the question, what exactly is a social drug? Take a couple seconds, gather your thoughts and throw some suggestions out at me. Is it something taken at family gatherings? Or is it something legal or even illegal to consume? Now that you mention it, that's a very good question. Some may be thinking it's something people may take to feel good about themselves. While we're on that topic, does it have any physical or mental benefits? And how does it even look? Does it come in a physical or liquid form? Whoa, so many questions. Without further ado, now let's take a look at the official definition of the term social drug. Social drugs are chemical substances taken for enjoyment or leisure purposes rather than for medical reasons. It affects the human body by changing our mood and behavior. Now, just to bring all of this information into perspective a bit, I know some of you all may be thinking to yourselves, but sir, I've actually encountered quite a few of these drugs before. Whether it is I've seen a stranger in public smoking or a family member consuming alcohol. I'd just like to reiterate and drive home the point that we should seek to stay away from these substances as much as possible. This as many people upon consuming them suffer from addiction and their lives become derailed, some even becoming homeless.
Now, some of you all may be saying, sir, thus far you have taught me the definition of a social drug as well as a little bit about the potential dangers of consuming these drugs. But I'd actually like to know some examples of the different types of drugs out there so I'd be more cognizant, aware, or better able to stay as far away from these substances as possible if they do manage to make their way into my presence. Okay, that's actually a very good suggestion. Now, without further ado, let's learn a little bit about these types of drugs.
During today's session, we will be focusing specifically on the three main types of social drugs. And these are as follows: stimulants, depressants, and hallucinogens. Firstly, let's look at stimulants. Stimulants are a class of drugs that speed up the messages between the brain and the body. They can make a person feel more awake, alert, confident, or energetic. Some can also increase the rate at which the heart reaches its maximum performance during exercise. Some examples of these include tobacco, cocaine, and caffeine. Many may argue that some of these drugs are sold by supermarkets nationwide. And while this is in fact true, some of them brandish a warning by the Ministry of Health seeking to deter the buyer from consuming the product. This as it may cause cancer or various other respiratory or cardiovascular illnesses. Additionally, some of these drugs are illegal according to local laws, and if found in your possession, you can be arrested and imprisoned. Secondly, another social drug that we'll be looking at is depressants. A depressant is a substance that reduces one's arousal and stimulation. It affects the central nervous system, thereby slowing down the messages between the brain and the body. It affects one's concentration and coordination. It slows down a person's ability to respond to unexpected situations, as well as when taken in small doses, it can cause a person to feel more relaxed and less inhibited. An example of a depressant would be alcohol. Now again, although alcohol falls under the realm of legal drugs, we should be warned that statistics will show that many people who consume alcohol without limits suffer from a condition called alcoholism. This again a very dangerous state to reach as it can affect your personal life, family, or even career path. Last but certainly not least, another type of social drug would be hallucinogens. Hallucinogens are a diverse group of drugs that alter a person's awareness of their surroundings as well as their own thoughts and feelings. It works on the brain to affect the senses and cause hallucinations. That is, we may be able to see, hear, smell, taste, or even feel things that do not exist. Hallucinogens are sometimes also called psychedelic drugs. Some examples of these drugs include LSD, ecstasy, or Molly. Right here within our very own Trinidad and Tobago, a couple years ago there was an upsurge in the use of a particular type of hallucinogen called the Zessa pill. These were usually taken during parties and popular carnival fetes, and they altered individuals' senses as well as their perception of reality to such an extent some even became temporarily unconscious. This poses a severe danger to our overall health, and as a result, we should seek to stay as far away from these drugs as possible. This has brought us to the end of today's virtual teaching session on the topic social drugs. Do ensure that you subscribe and stay tuned for more videos on your favorite subject, physical education. Thank you.